Hey friends, it doesn't matter if we're spending the day exploring in the mountains, laying on a Florida beach, spending the weekend at the lake, or just hanging out in the backyard, we still have to feed our people. I'm Mel and welcome to my kitchen. I'm sharing some delicious and fun summertime meals and a dessert that you can make outside or in the kitchen, and I'm giving you lots of tips and tricks that will save you the most time and let you get out and enjoy the fun too. Let's start with some smash burger Big Mac tacos. I'm going to go ahead and make some Big Mac secret sauce, put it in the fridge for later tonight, starting with 1 cup of mayonnaise, a 1/4 cup of sweet pickle relish. I'm going to use Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoonfuls. This recipe actually calls for a German mustard called Dusseldorf, not to be confused with this guy, Dumbledore. But I looked that up and it is a little bit spicier and a little bit darker than a Dijon mustard, but I believe Dijon will be a great substitute. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of onion powder. We're also going to use 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. This called for 1/8 teaspoon of white pepper. I didn't have that either, but it's just about that much, so I'm just going to use black pepper. It also calls for 1 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. And I am so sorry, I missed putting in the last ingredient. It's 1 teaspoon of white wine vinegar. I just used white vinegar because I didn't have white wine vinegar. But you just mix it all together. The fella that I found this recipe from said he was a former corporate chef for McDonald's. He said this is as close as you'll get to Big Mac sauce at home. I have already tried a snippet of this. It tastes darn tootin' close to Big Mac sauce already, and I haven't even chilled it. I'm just going to put it in the fridge and it will be ready for tonight. I've seen this done. Patrick, have you seen this done?
No, I ain't never seen this.
He's never seen this done. So I'll warn you, if you've not seen by now, we ain't the best combo in the kitchen. We don't work too well together because we both like to be the chief, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we both like to be the chief. All right, put you some oil down. These are Big Mac smash burger taco deals. And he has one side of our Blackstone pretty hot. The other side's just kind of on warm. Put your burgers down. No. Put all the burgers down, all 4 of them.
Why all 4?
Because we're doing 4, you need to spread them out so you can smash them though. You're going to put a little of your favorite burger seasoning on there. You don't need a whole lot. Or, put it all, whatever. Then you're going to take a flour tortilla and throw it over each one. And you're going to smash it right in the center of your tortilla. So if you spread them out a little bit, you smash it hard. Now you're going to smush them down really hard. And don't worry, because your meat is going to be so thin that it should cook through from just this one side. Your grease going through to your tortilla is really going to make this good. It's going to make it delicious. I need to get me one of them fancy taco holders to, like, when we take these off, like you're making a taco, you're going to fold it up.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get me some of them little holders. Okay, do you think we're ready to flip?
Mm-hmm.
See what we got. Yeah.
What do I do? Just
leave it like that. That one looks perfect. That one looks really good. Let's cheese it. Well, yeah, you want to look at those? That looks good, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Yummy. Mm-hmm. Yummy. Let's cheese them all. And that one looks perfect. That'll be the show plate. I used about 1/4 pound of hamburger meat. You kind of want to ball it up real good. I forgot this part. You're supposed to use that little dome. We have one of those domes, but I forgot about that, Dad. Sorry. To put over it so it'll melt your cheese. We'll be fine. This is fine. It's all going to be fine. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and fix these up. And this is how you do it. You kind of fold it like a taco. Hopefully we'll get better at this. This is the burger seasoning that I used. I really like it. It's made by Auntie Nono's. I love all the things, but use whatever you like. We also like the Kinders and think it's Rufus Teague. But I'm just going to build this up with some shredded lettuce. You could also put pickles on here, but you know what? I love pickles, but I ain't a fan of them on my burgers. Here comes our secret sauce. I'm going to load it down just like they do at McDonald's. Well, maybe not so much as they do at McDonald's. Sometimes they get carried away there. Let's see if I can underwhelm him again. Does that taste like mac sauce?
Mm-hmm.
That guy was right, wasn't he? What do you think?
Actually pretty good.
Actually very good. So, do you like this or a regular smash burger better?
I don't know, I have to eat it first. Eat all of it first.
Maybe for like a change.
Mm-hmm.
So what is good?
The sauce is good.
The sauce is good. Well, I think you did a good job on the meat too. You did a really good job. Patrick said he was afraid it would be real greasy, like the tortilla soaking up all that grease. But that probably really made it good. Okay, let me try. Excuse me. That is really good, and that really does taste like Big Mac sauce more than any of the ones that I've bought or any of the other kind I've tried to make at home. I'm like you. This is really good for a change, for something different. You know?
I don't know if I'd want it every time.
But I really do like a smash burger.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the barbecue meatloaves. I really like the original. This is good. This is very good. It's nice to do.
It is good.
It's better than doing them trying to make a triple decker Big Mac at home. And it's cooked thoroughly. And it's super messy. And we had so much fun trying this recipe. Very delicious. You can easily make these indoors on the stovetop in a big cast iron skillet or griddle. Just have to do them one at a time. Get in there and smush them down really, really hard. And this sauce was so delicious, it amazed me. There's no ketchup at all. That beautiful color comes from the paprika. It was spot on for Big Mac secret sauce. I hope that you'll enjoy trying these with your family too. Tonight's dinner is inspired once again by Luke Brown, cooking in the Midwest. I can blame him for my addiction to this Buffalo Wild Wings Parm garlic sauce. We're doing a crock pot chicken meal tonight. First things first, spray that crock pot. Y'all saw that humongous 6.5 pound bag of frozen chicken from Costco, but I'm only going to use 2 of those chicken breasts. Go ahead and season this up with some salt and some pepper. I'm going to use a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of paprika. Also putting in a nice big spoonful of garlic. Now we're going to cover it with this Buffalo Wild Wings Parmesan garlic sauce, and I have 1 bottle here that's probably got about half left in it. I'm going to use it up first. I finished off that 1 bottle of sauce, and then I put a little milk in it because this stuff is thick. Shook it up real good and poured that in here. Then I probably used about half of another bottle that I just opened. Doesn't have to be swimming in it, but you do want it coated pretty good. And all these seasonings, they're fine just like they are. When this starts cooking down a little bit, I will come over here and stir it all around and make sure everything's coated and mixed up sufficiently. Pop that lid on, and I'm going to cook mine on high. Probably be 3 or 4 hours. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just getting dinner started in the crock pot. We are definitely on summer hours around here. I don't know about y'all, but it just does not take long for us to get off schedule. With just me and Patrick here a lot of the time, it was like 9 o'clock last night. He was grilling us a steak for supper. That's just how it happens. I told him it made me think back to, do y'all remember back when everything was on lockdown, back in the awful times? And we got so messed up on our eating schedule. My kids thought it was so funny. They're like, we don't even know what we're eating and what meal it is, if it's breakfast or dinner or what time it's going to be. Things went crazy. And I kind of feel like he's been home a lot more, you know. And we've just been doing other things, and we have gotten all out of kilter here. But anyway, 4 o'clock, supper's going in. We might eat it at midnight. We might eat it at 8 or 9 o'clock. But I do think all the kids will be here tonight helping with something, so it'll be ready for them. This chicken has been cooking 4 hours, and you can see it is perfectly done. And instead of shredding it tonight, I think I am going to chunk it up a little bit. That is a nice change from just shredding it all the time. We're just going to take every bit of that chicken and put it right back in all that yummy sauce. Going to take 1 jar of your favorite Alfredo and put this in. This recipe doesn't have any cream of soups or any cream cheese, but I think this creamy Alfredo just takes the place of it. I'm also going to put in about 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, a nice large cup of mozzarella cheese. Then we're just going to stir all that together and get all those wonderful seasonings incorporated all throughout here. Pop this lid back on and let it sit on low. While all my cheese and Alfredo is getting mixed into that sauce, I'm going to boil a 16-ounce box of pasta about 10 or 12 minutes till it's nice and done. Here comes this pound of pasta. I'm in my little crock pot tonight. It might take me just a minute to get all this stirred together, but I'll get there, and I'm just going to leave it right in this crock pot. I went ahead and turned it off, or you could just flip it over to keep warm. Friends, you know I love these flavors. This was absolutely delicious. And don't sleep on your crock pots in the summertime. They're a wonderful way to cook a home-cooked meal without heating up your oven. And you can use them outside when you're camping. And if you're at the park and you have a pavilion where you have electricity, bring those crock pots. We do this all the time. Just put wieners right in a crock pot or line them up all around the sides and standing up. And they cook up perfectly and keep warm the whole time. And do a crock pot of chili and nacho cheese. You are set with no trouble and easy cleanup if you use a crock pot liner. Tonight we're going to make some delicious Italian mozzarella chicken full packs. We're going to start by mixing up a marinade. We're going to use 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'm going to start with my dry ingredients next, and I'm going to use 2 rather heaping teaspoonsful of Italian seasonings because this calls for a teaspoon each of about 4 different herbs that are in Italian seasoning. I'm just going to put a little bit more. I'm going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, and I'm going to put in a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. This recipe called for about 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. I'm just going to sprinkle in a few. I'm not a lover of heat. Now I'm going in with my wet ingredients, and I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, and a couple nice forkfuls of some minced garlic. Mix all this together. Smells great, and it is a beautiful, beautiful color. I'm going to go ahead and stick a little bag in here that I'm going to be marinating my chicken in. And I'm going to pour about half of this in here. The other half I'm going to leave in here in this cup and pour it over our veggies. I want to get some of this garlic that's kind of went to the bottom too. I've got 2 regular sized chicken breasts, and I'm just going to butterfly them in half and try to get them about even thickness. You can always pound them out to make them evenly thick if you need to. I'm going to take these chicken breasts, put them down in my Ziploc bag with my marinade. Then I'm just going to pop it out of this stand, zip it up, and slosh this around. I like to get mine good and coated before I let the air out. You can put this in the refrigerator and marinate it a couple hours or let it set all day, but I'm just going to leave mine out here on the counter probably 20 or 30 minutes while I'm prepping my veggies. Now I'm going to start prepping my veggies. I have some of these little new potatoes here, And I'm going to cut them up in, about a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch pieces, all about the same size. This original recipe also had carrots in it, and anything hard like a carrot or a potato takes longer to cook. So we're going to start them off in the microwave. Get them in a microwave safe dish. I'm just going to put a little bit of water on them and cover them with some plastic wrap and microwave them for about 5 minutes. The rest of my veggies, I'm just chopping them up, and I'm going to throw them in a bowl, and we'll marinate it all together when the potatoes come out of the microwave. Careful when you pull these potatoes out. Even though it's only been 5 minutes, they are going to be hot. I'm going to throw them right into this bowl with the rest of my veggies, trying to strain any of that water that might be left out. Now we're taking what's left of this marinade, and it doesn't look like much, but that's okay because we'll have some left over from our chicken. But I'm just going to toss this around and try to coat it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of that red onion in here. I think this can handle it. Here comes the fun / the hard part. I have a huge square of aluminum foil here, and this is heavy duty. So I'm just using 1 layer. If your aluminum foil is not heavy duty, go ahead and double it or maybe even triple it up, especially if you're going to be putting this on the grill. Then I am just going all around the sides with a couple big spoonfuls of these potatoes and the rest of these veggies. I'm going to load it down. I like to fold that in a couple times. Do that on each side. Then I like to pull this up really close. Pull this side up really close. Squish it all up. And roll it down. You want to get it kind of tight. Make sure your ends are tucked so your juices don't come out. Then I'm just going to set them over here on a baking sheet. My full packs look huge. I never get mine squished up as tight as most people do, but I have my oven at 400 degrees. I'm going to put these in for 20 minutes. You don't want to open them. You just want to check them at 20 minutes. Make sure your veggies are tender and your chicken is 165 degrees. And you know, when I'm normally just baking chicken breast, seems like it's always 25 minutes. So I would feel much better about that. Don't want anyone leaving with salmon vanilla. Now that these have come out and they're all done, it's hard to show this, but I'm going to take a little bit of mozzarella cheese. I've opened them up. And I'm going to spread it over the chicken, but you could go all the way over the veggies if you wanted to. And I did not put any butter in here, but you could definitely dot this with a little bit of butter. Should have done that at the first, but you could do it now. And also, we will see, I forgot one of the most important things. Spray my aluminum foil with nonstick spray before I put my stuff in. And I have my oven on broil, and I'm going to leave these open, and I'm just going to broil them a couple minutes until this cheese is nice and melted and a little bit brown on top. You can see that broil just melted and browned them up perfectly. If you want to do these outside on the grill, heat it to about medium high. Put your packs in and close the lid on that grill. Be sure and temp your chicken. Make sure that everything is done thoroughly. And you can eat these right out of these full packs. And I have to let you know, they came off easy with the spatula. They didn't really stick at all, even though I forgot to spray them. And I have to say, something in the flavor was missing, so I just grabbed my Auntie Nonos and put a little bit of that on. That salt, onion powder, and garlic powder that totally brought it to life. I'll definitely remember and do that next time. And you can use any combination of vegetables and proteins that you want to. The possibilities are endless with this one. Just a fun summer meal. We are going to make something fun inspired by Keebler, campfire cones. It's kind of like s'mores. We start with an empty ice cream cone, and we're just going to do alternating layers of mini marshmallows and any kind of butterscotch and chocolate chips of your choice, and some graham crackers that are just broken up into small pieces. I just did layers, and then I also like to put some of the graham cracker pieces standing up around the top to kind of hold my chocolate chips and my marshmallows in when this is wrapped up and going in the oven. I'm going to lay a piece of aluminum foil out on the bias, and I'm going to keep holding this in my hand, and I'm just going to take the aluminum foil and twist it around my cone, folding down the top, folding the bottom end. We put ours in the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes on 400 degrees. You can also do this in the campfire with some, medium warm to hot coals. Wrap them up. I'm going to put a little bit more on here, just because I can. You could top this with some coconut if you're a coconut lover, or some fudge, but I am a caramel girl, and I'm just going to make this nice and messy. It ain't pretty to watch somebody eat it, but you will definitely love it. You just eat it like an ice cream cone. That is delicious. Want to wish all the dads out there a very happy Father's Day, and a very special one to my own father and my father in love. Thank you guys so much for being here this week. If you enjoyed tonight's video, be sure and check out the one on the screen. I think you'll love it too. I'll see you next week. Until then, I send you love from my kitchen.